Welcome to the show, party people. This is DFW Real Estate Weekly, and this is show 350. 350 shows, folks. 350 times we have taken on the headlines of the day to make sure that you know what is true, what is good for you, what is not good for you, what is intended to manipulate you and take advantage of you and, point you in the right direction. So we're still doing it years into this thing. We've never counted shows, by the way. If you're listening on the podcast, there have been way more episodes on the podcast because we give you all sorts of bonus content. But if you're listening live right now in Dallas, Fort Worth, or online anywhere, number 350 full-length radio show, DFW Real Estate Weekly, once called, producer Courtney, once called Texas Real Estate with Todd Tremonti. Still Todd Tremonti, but now DFW Real Estate Weekly, because all we really ever talked about was DFW Real Estate. We occasionally talk about the national landscape or beyond DFW when it is relevant to DFW. So we've been doing this for a while, folks, trying to do our very, very best to tell you what you want to know and what you need to know, and also have some fun with you, make a difference in our community here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, feed some folks, support some folks, care for people that maybe at times can't care for themselves. And we're going to keep doing it for a long, long time going forward. So if you happen to be listening for the first time, this is DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. I'm Todd Tremonti. We run a real estate team and brokerage all day, every day, all week, every week, which is sort of the research laboratory for our ability to jump on here and answer your questions and look a little bit into the future with some educated guesses or assumptions or predictions about what's coming down the pipe for DFW real estate, whether you're a buyer, a seller, a renter, or someone who simply wants to enjoy what you've got in and around your home. So we are here for you as we always have been. If you've got a question today, right now, call 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008. Or you can find us online like you always could have and always will be able to at
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Just like my boy says, ToddTremontiTeam.com. His voice sounds a little different these days, Courtney. He's all grossed up. Not all grossed up, but he's about to be taller than me, and that hurts a little bit on the inside.
We have him capsulized here. So, right? Encapsulated.
Encapsulated. I don't even know where.
Okay.
He's older than he was 350 shows ago. Much larger than he was 350 shows ago. And his voice sounds different, but you can still find out what your house is worth. You can search all homes available on the MLS by all agents. You could track your home's equity. You could get a cash offer on your house, all right now at
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
Nailed it. All right, folks, we got all kinds of stuff going on today. There's news, there's questions, there's 350 shows to celebrate. Join us, 214-310-0008. Call or text. First segment is always has been, I hope it always will be, brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his team at Cardinal Financial. Patrick's been my go-to mortgage guy and the mortgage professional of choice for thousands of our clients. That's thousands, no exaggeration, thousands of our clients, friends, family members, nearly everyone in my family, almost everyone on the team has trusted Patrick to finance their homes. He's the only person I have ever trusted to finance the homes that my wife and I have purchased for our family. You can reach out to Patrick anytime at patrickglaros.com. That's Glaros, patrickglaros.com. All right, folks, join the show today. Call or text 214-310-0008. Are interest rates going to go down? I don't know, but we'll talk about it. What's going on with inventory? What's going on with pricing? What is going on in Dallas-Fort Worth real estate? We'll get into all of it, plus your questions, as we make our way through the show. But producer Courtney, full price Courtney, classy Courtney,
She's here.
Court is here with a microphone, ready to rock.
I mean, we're in the middle of hurricane season.
That's not wrong.
And people are wondering how natural disasters affect the market.
Let me go with a short answer here and say significantly.
Okay.
It's interesting because if you follow our YouTube stuff, which you should, just go to ToddTremontiTeam.com, click on the video tab, or you can just search my name, Todd Tremonti, on YouTube. We've done videos about people's concerns, like weather, natural disaster concerns about DFW from outside the market, right? People that are like, what's up with hail? How often are there tornadoes? People understand, I think, that North Texas is in or on the edge of Tornado Alley. It's interesting. Obviously, this week we got a little touch of what's happening with hurricanes. Now, it really didn't make it up here, but my family are in Houston, and we were actually all traveling together up in the mountains, and we're all trying to get flights home. Not difficult to get into Dallas. There was a lot of congestion and craziness, but everyone trying to get to Houston was also in Dallas. So, we got to see it firsthand that really when Dallas gets hit, but also when Houston or Austin or other parts of the state get hit, we are affected by those things. People are moving away from Houston because they are tired of the flooding. They are tired of the crazy high hurricane winds. They're tired of hurricane season, which used to basically be August, now being like May through October. That's one aspect. Another is just simply the patterns that are not always understood or explained when you look at statistics. So, for example, we've said for years and years and years, just simply that August is a really difficult month in our market to trust the statistics because they don't really factor in back to school, the heat, we often get some weird weather. But you talk about a true natural disaster. If we have a legitimate tornado, A, you're not going to see a bunch of people buying and selling houses for a period. B, you're going to see a lot of delayed transactions that were about to close and fund but got significantly delayed due to damage or insurance claims or whatever. So in short, let me just say, yes, when we have a natural disaster, obviously it stalls the market and it changes people's opinion or confidence in buying or selling or living here, or maybe all those things in another place that causes people to move here. So just in Texas, you're trying to think, do I want to live along the coast? Okay, well, then I need to be aware of hurricanes. Do I want to live in Dallas? Okay, well, I need to be aware of hail. I need to understand tornadoes. And do I want to live in other parts of the state where you have extreme heat and things like that? So that's kind of the short version of the fact that not only do natural disasters have a significant impact on our markets in the short term, 20 years from now, we'll look back and people won't always understand that we had a significant tornado in 2015. Is that right? I'm pretty sure it was 2015 that really wreaked a lot of havoc in Rockwall, Rowlett, Garland, that northeast corridor. They'll just see this weird blip in statistics, or they might not even understand it as a weird blip in statistics. And you would make a huge mistake to not understand that there was an external cause. There was a natural disaster that caused that. But if we're not careful, we can manipulate statistics and make certain projections or assumptions or form opinions that don't factor in a natural disaster or things like that. And then you can go tone it down from natural disaster and just go, man, it rained a ton that month. Not as many people got out to look at houses and buy them. And so that next month got this unusual surge of purchasing because it was more convenient. It was really, really hot, or we had power outages, or we had a freeze. It matters. It impacts things, and we need to be careful, which is why you always want to work with an expert that does understand things like that. First of all, that doesn't mean just work with the real estate agent. That means work with an expert that has a track record of understanding things like that. We are the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. We obviously obsess about these things for your benefit. So if you're looking to buy or sell or invest or protect your property value, and you're looking for professionals that do pay attention to these things, head over to
ToddTremontiTeam.com
or just Google Todd Tremonti. You'll find all kinds of resources. We'd be glad to offer you a free strategy session to understand your wants and needs and help you put a game plan together to get that done.
Well, speaking of all of that, is there still time to buy and sell this summer?
It's a great question, Courtney. Do you like a short answer or a long answer?
I am really curious because it seems like this is a hot time to buy. We're in the middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sometimes think that people don't understand kind of the pacing of the whole process.
Yeah. So the short answer is yes, but. And the longer answer is it depends on a million factors. So the yes, but is yes, you could still technically, if you went under contract today and everything went pretty smoothly, almost perfectly, you could be in a home before kids go back to school. Now, look, some people's kids go back to school in like 4 weeks. I know that's like not what a lot of people want to hear. It's exactly what some people want to hear. But the reality is this. You need to give yourself 6 weeks minimum to do this comfortably. 4 weeks minimum to realistically be able to achieve that. Now, can it be done shorter? Yes, if you have all cash. And again, almost everything goes perfectly. We should not expect everything to go perfectly. So we like people to have 6 to 8 weeks, and you don't have 6 to 8 weeks between now and the end of summer if we're defining summer as school starting. If you're defining summer as generally when, the weather begins to break and turn to fall, then you have plenty of time. But if you're talking about back to school, most parts of Dallas-Fort Worth are going to go back to school that second or third week of August. And, depending on when you're listening. Right now, we're second, third week of July. We're at the turnover, the midpoint of July. So all that to say, you got about a month, and that's the bare minimum to get this done for most people that are using a mortgage, that need a little bit of time to find something, or need a little bit of time for someone to find your house and negotiate and get an inspection, maybe do a few repairs and get some documentation of some warranties and things like that, and make sure there's no delays in underwriting or appraisals or any of these things. So that's where we are. Yes, you can get it done if you call us today, 214-310-0008, and you are prepared and things fit. We can get that done in under 30 days. We cannot guarantee it because there are some what ifs involved there, but it's possible. There's decent possibility of that. If you had 6 weeks, feel really, really strong about that. Now, there are other elements of this. If you're selling a home, how do you want to price it? What's the condition of the home? How desirable is it? What else is on the market? All those things are always factors, but they do impact time. You could tell me right now, I need to sell my house in 1 day. I could guarantee you to sell your house in 1 day if we can price it right, get it in the right condition, and market it well. And you could say, look, I'm in absolutely no hurry, but I want this number. I said, look, if you give me an unlimited amount of time, I'll probably get you any number you can think of. It could take 30 years if you dream up some crazy, insane number. But that's the spectrum people don't always think through. So to get a great price and a great experience, we try to have people with a minimum of 6 weeks. Right? Just for the preparation and getting things going. Doesn't mean it takes us that long to actually get an agreement, but you need that long to allow it to close and fund. So I hope that makes sense. But yes, you can still get something done this summer, but we are very, very, very close to that answer becoming no. And you need to pay attention. Also might want to pay attention to your garage floors. When's the last time you took a peek out there? Do you like the look? Do you like the smell? Do you like the structural integrity of it all? We have a company and friends over at goodgaragefloors.com that we really, really like. They did my garage floors, and they also did a sport court basketball, pickleball setup in our backyard that really used to just be kind of a junky looking concrete slab, and really made it look great and a ton of fun for our family. It is now one of our absolute favorite things to do is get out in the backyard with friends and play pickleball, or just roll that net away and use the basketball court, or kids roller skate and do all kinds of things out there. But goodgaragefloors.com can take care of your garage floors and any of your solid surface concrete type flooring, pool decking, patio decking, things like that. Check them out at goodgaragefloors.com.
Hey, guys. Hey.
What's going on, Ian?
How's everyone?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. What I miss?
Here's what I'd like to let people know. Ian's coming in late, coming in hot, because one of you just reached out on near urgent need, and you got the incredible privilege of talking with the English wonder himself,
Lovely
the Yanni
chat.
Donnie.
A lovely chat.
Ian Daniels.
Yeah.
Speaking of paying attention, it doesn't feel like there is a lot of attention on real estate. It feels like it's all on politics right now.
You're not wrong. Now, to be clear, Ian's wearing an English flag basically for the last week and a half.
I mean, it's like permanent fixture
Got to.
on his
because
neck.
he celebrates the ups and the downs of the English footy team.
You got to do what you got to do to support your boys, and that's what we're doing.
And Ian yells things at times, sometimes during the workday, like, get stuck in. Yeah, just random Euro football references.
What are your
My
other
son
phrases?
got dropped off to watch the match this week.
His son came by this week so they could yell together in the office.
Yep.
It was great.
What's another phrase that we're shouting at the TV.
Careful.
Not gonna fly on radio.
There's a lot. Yeah, English football's different. Imagine like the Philadelphia Eagles fans or the Las Vegas Raiders fans, and then turn it up to 11.
I will share a teeny tiny story. Now, language is pretty good generally at times, usually, kind of, sort of. And after one of the England matches, I had called my dad because they played very poorly. Described
To be
him
clear,
with a specific
call your
word.
dad who is in England right
Correct.
now.
Yeah, and we were conversing, and my son overheard me describing how we played. And then at his birthday dinner, when he became a teenager, mother-in-law asked me, how have England been doing? And he, with a big grin on his face, just repeated the words that I said.
Which were
Makes
not
you proud.
PG.
It was very funny, though.
He
knew his audience, and it made for a very funny moment.
Comedic timing, folks. All right, so Courtney's question was, is it true that people just aren't paying as much attention to real estate right now? And the answer is yes. Now, stay tuned because I want to tell you where the opportunity in this lies. But first, the answer is yes. And here is a short list of the things people are distracted by or willfully pointing their attention to, causing a bit of the lower activity levels in the real estate market. Now, let me be very clear. That doesn't mean lower prices or disaster in the real estate market. It just means lower overall activity in the real estate market. People are distracted by interest rates. People are distracted by politics. Raise your hand if you've watched a video about politics lately and just shook your head. All hands in the air.
Multiple hands.
Okay. So politics, interest rates, the economy, job market, price of food and gas and travel, or summer vacations, the heat, healthcare, all the unbelievable number of things that are of interest, of importance right now, none less interesting or distracting than politics at the moment. So this is fairly typical of a presidential election year. We typically see the summer before a presidential election lag a little bit compared to a normal summer. And the reason is there are people on all sides of all parts of the political spectrum that sort of think, I'm going to wait until we figure out who the president is before I buy, sell, rent, remodel, whatever. Now, here's the somewhat funny thing about that, Courtney. Statistically speaking, all the people make the exact same choices they would have made anyway. They just delay them. So normally what we see is a slightly slower summer and then a slightly more active late winter, early spring the following year. So we still have activity in our market right now, but we do have less than you would normally expect right now. Maybe that's interest rates. Maybe it's politics. I would argue it's both and quite a few other things. And if I had to put one word on it, I would just say that it's overwhelm. There's just a general sense of overwhelm. We talk to hundreds of people a week, thousands of people every month. It's crazy. The near consensus is like, I'm just exhausted. There's just so much going on.
Well, the person that I just talked to, we were just talking about kind of a timeline that made sense. And, they were very wise in just saying, hey, we're aware right now, like things are taking longer to sell. Things are sitting on the market longer than they were. So we're not expecting it to be sold, within a week or within 2 weeks, but we would love for it to be within this certain time period. And, they were realistic. I think that's a word that I think people need to be, willing to be more realistic right now than they were, say, a year ago or a year and a half ago.
Yeah, well, as we celebrate 350 shows, we finally might be educating.
Congratulations!
some of our listeners to there it is. We might finally have the attention of some of our listeners that are listening to things like that, where it's like, hey, we're not saying drop your price and give your house away. It's just like, hey, understand the climate that we're dealing with right now. Right. There is lower overall activity. There's some real fear and concern from buyers. There's significant fear and concern from some sellers, but we are still selling homes over the average price and under the average time, and we guarantee it. We're also still guaranteeing to help buyers save at least $5,000 throughout the purchase process of your home. And obviously, the bigger the price point, the more we're saving people. We specialize in two main types of real estate. Of course, we can help people with all sorts of things. There are many things that we don't, but we specialize in the most desirable neighborhoods in Dallas-Fort Worth and homes on land, or homes with a couple of acres to enjoy some space and some room to play and some privacy and things like that. So if that's one of the things you're looking at and you want to understand what a realistic expectation looks like right now, reach out to us. 214-310-0008, one of our full-time, fully dedicated, specialized real estate agents can spend some time with you. We offer free strategy sessions. We can do that on phone or Zoom, or the best case scenarios in our Fort Worth office or our Dallas office. But we'll connect with you in whatever way you're currently comfortable or prepared to connect, whether it's phone, Zoom, or in person, and just help you get a strategy together, help you get a game plan going to achieve your goals or to avoid your fears in regard to your real estate. We're happy to do that for you at no charge whatsoever. 214-310-0008 for the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team, or online at
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
We are so generous at not charging anybody for any of that stuff. You know what else we don't charge for?
what?
The Summer Fun Guide.
Oh my gosh.
You
so good.
still have time to get one. It might be a digital version of one, but that doesn't matter. You can still get it. You can still go to the website, DallasHomeRealty.com, click the banner at the top, fill in the info. If we can find a physical one somewhere in the office, we will mail it to you. Otherwise, we will email you a digital version of it.
Hurry up, folks.
You've missed out on a few things, but not everything.
Yeah.
Not everything.
Probably not going to take advantage of the 4th of July fireworks spread.
Probably not, unless you have some sort of time travel ability.
You could still definitely take advantage of the beat the heat stuff.
Maybe even the staycation. We're going to be doing that the week before the kids go back to school. We're going to take a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're going to do our little family 4 days and, 4 days, I guess.
There it is. Staycation, written and verbalized by the one and only Ian Daniels. Family tradition for them. Each person gets to pick, kind of control the day for one of those days.
Pick the food that you eat in, meal out, activity at the house, and activity out of the house. Super fun.
Or you can read about it on page 11 and 12 of the Summer Fun Guide. Go to ToddTremontiTeam.com, click the banner at the top, get you a digital Summer Fun Guide. If we have a print one, we'll send it to you, but we don't have many left.
You know what else I'm going to be willing to give away for free?
Oh, no.
A home valuation, folks.
What?
If you haven't checked your home valuation this year, again, go to DallasHomeRealty.com, click on the home valuation tab, and in less than 60 seconds, you'll answer a few questions, and it will give you some incredible information on what your home is worth, what it would rent for, things like how to get a cash offer, what your home equity is, all sorts of really cool information. DallasHomeRealty.com, and click on the home valuation tab.
Even if you're just curious and you kind of want to play, you can go to ToddTremontiTeam.com, click that home valuation button, and find out right now what somebody would pay you cash for your house. You can find out the equity of your home. It's a really fun tool. You're not committed to selling it for that. But I talk to people all the time. They're like, I didn't realize you would actually do that. Sure. If you want an immediate cash offer for your house, we will give you one. And then we'll talk to you about what we could get for your house if we sold it in a more traditional manner. Not that traditional is a word we're real fond of around here, but if we sold it on the open market versus a direct cash offer. So if you're interested in any of those things, go to
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
We'll get you squared away. Celebrating show 350 today. 350 times we have jumped on the air to walk our friends, family members, neighbors, buyers, sellers, renters, and all the above through what it looks like to navigate real estate in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in a way that benefits you, your family, and your finances. That's right. You, your family, and your finances are in good hands here on DFW Real Estate with Todd Tremonti, and then all day, every day with the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team over at ToddTremontiTeam.com. We've been doing this a long time. Obviously, we are real estate brokers and agents, and what we do is help people buy and sell homes. But I think one of the things that we do that many, many others don't, that almost no one else does, is work really hard to be an advocate for you, even when we're not your agent or your broker, meaning when you're not buying, selling, or moving, when you're enjoying your home, or when you're getting your ducks in a row and dreaming and saving towards home ownership or investment or the second home or the vacation home or the remodel or the expansion or whatever the case is. We are here for you as a resource to your home, which in and of itself is a resource to your life. We want your life to be better because of our time spent together here on the show or on the podcast, wherever you get podcasts. DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti might be the longest podcast name so that it is easy for you to search and find. That's DFW Real Estate Weekly with Todd Tremonti. Look it up on YouTube. Check it out wherever you get your podcast. Check out our main channel on YouTube by just searching my name. And then if you're enthusiastic, interested in, or obsessive about homes on land or living on some acreage or a big backyard and all the fun that comes with that, check that channel out as well by simply looking up my name and big backyards on YouTube. You'll find a ton of resources there that maybe you've never tapped into before. So if you're beginning the process of buying or selling, or if you're simply wanting to enjoy your home more, check out those additional resources that are not live on radio, but are prepared just for you, depending on where you live and how you live and what you want to achieve with your real estate. Basically, look up Todd Tremonti anywhere you go. Social media, YouTube, all the things. If not, the one place that you can find nearly every one of those things is
TheTremontiTeam.com.
We tell you about Patrick Gleros and his team at Cardinal Financial. As always, this first segment is brought to you by them. Patrick has been helping so many of our clients, friends, family members, ourselves for years and years and years now. PatrickGleros.com is where you can go. You can start an application directly on his website. You can find out all the things that he offers. If you're looking to get a mortgage, refinance, Patrick can help you with all sorts of things, him and his team. 972-728-3420 is his number. NMLS number 308804. PatrickGleros.com. Glaros. PatrickGleros.com.
You know what we don't talk about enough, Courtney? Ian?
Formula One. Phenomenal race last weekend. Go ahead.
That is not where I was going. We drop the note on the show every once in a while that we guarantee to sell homes over the average price and under the average time.
We do.
And then we run advertisements, all lots of different stations with lots of different people and endorsers and all sorts of reviews.
We do.
But here we do a really bad job of bragging on ourselves because we don't want to be obnoxious jerks. But let me just give a couple of quick examples of some things that our amazing, incredible, wonderful full-time agents are doing lately. Here's one in Richardson, where the average price for this house in this area in this condition, based on market research, was $333,000, and our team sold it for $401,000.
Okay, it's pretty good.
I mean, do you want $68,000 extra? The answer is typically yes.
Yes, please.
The average time on the market for that house at that time in that area was 25 days. You want to take a guess at how many days it took our team to sell it?
22.
Minus 20. 2 days.
3.
Sold it in 2 days.
2.
The average was 25. We sold it in 2. The average was $333,000. We sold it for $401,000. I don't want to take a ton of time, but here's one in Dallas. The market average was $986,000, and we sold it for $1,055,000.
Okay.
Once again, would
Extra
you
money.
like an extra $68,000? How
Wow.
about Plano? Typical price $689,000. We sold it for $800,000.
Get out of here.
Would you like $111,000 extra? More?
Yes.
More than your neighbors got for similar homes?
Yep.
Here's one, Frisco. Typical price, average, statistical average, $862,000 for a home just like this, same area, same time. Our team sold it for $925,000. Would you like an extra $62,000? Ooh, we came up a little tight on this one. Average $448,000. We sold it for $481,000.
I believe you're just making up these numbers.
But wait for this one. That one in Fort Worth, the average days on market was 98. You want to guess how many days we sold it in?
96.
You got the math literally backwards again. 2 days.
Yeah.
Average days 98. We sold it in 2 for an extra $32,500. And one more. Let's just throw in a Wiley because we do love Wiley. I like Wiley a lot, especially that downtown area is super fun.
It is fun.
Market average $538,000. We sold it for
$539,000.
$650,000.
Golly, I'm not good at this game.
An extra $111,000. Guys, we could keep going and going and going. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to sell your house for more money than your neighbors selling their houses and in less time, we guarantee to sell your home over the average price and in under the average time. Over the average price and under the average time, guaranteed both and at the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. Find us online at toddtremonteteam.com. Google Todd Tremonte. Call, text, drop by, knock on the door. Richardson office, Fort Worth office. We don't work with just anybody, but we would be thrilled to have the conversation about if we're a fit, let you know how those guarantees work, talk you through our 7-point proprietary marketing system, our 13-point buyer program. By the way, there's thousands of parts of these systems, but we break them down as simply as possible so that we can explain to our clients and friends exactly what we're actually going to do for them instead of saying silly things like, we're going to put it on 12,000 websites. We are going to put it on way more than that, but we're also going to go out and custom market your home and create a unique approach to helping you buy a home. And if you have any interest in that, give us a call. 214-310-0008 for the Todd Tremonte Home Selling Team. That's 214-310-0008 or
ToddTremonteTeam.com.
Okay, that was a fun little guessing game that we just played with you, Todd. Now I have a fun little guessing game that we're going to play as well. The fastest growing city in the U.S. is a tiny spot that no one's ever heard of, and that tiny spot is called?
Celina.
That's not how you play the guessing game, Todd. You're not supposed to get it right first guess.
I was afraid
I'll teach you how to do radio guessing games later.
I was afraid that I was going to be wrong, that some other report had come out. It is, in fact, Celina. And some people have heard of it, especially the people that listen to this show in Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, I've been in the DFW area selling real estate for over 20 years. And when I started, Celina was this sleepy little neighbor to the north that people didn't always know about and that had like 2 intersections with much there.
In 2010, it only had about 6,028 residents, you might say.
Well, I wouldn't have said that because I wasn't quite as engaged and aware as you are, Ian. I didn't have that fact.
Oh, I am up to date on numbers of everyone.
The fact is, Celina has become a more and more and more enticing community to not only folks from outside the Metroplex, but folks inside the Metroplex that have made the move up or over to more space and more options in relation to retail and business and develop and entertainment and restaurants and all those things. We've got some videos about Celina on the YouTube channel, but tell us more.
No, you are correct, because by 2020, the number had increased to 16,739 people.
Only almost 70% growth.
And you might say that by the end of 2023, 43,317 people lived there.
Now, that would be 200% growth? How's my math on that?
It's a lot.
Forgot the first number, if I'm being honest. Hey, folks, Celina has blown up, is continuing to blow up. And when we say blow up, we mean population growth. Lots going on in Celina. You know, one little category I had mentally put Celina in years ago was like cool, interesting food places. Like sort of artisan, one-off, not a bunch of chain stuff. Now, there more and more chain restaurants and things like that have come there as they've grown. But there is still a really cool, like, local, unique food, art, craft, maker, community type deal there with some shops and restaurants and things like that people tend to really, really like. So that is by all means not the only or even the most significant unique thing about Celina, but a great community here in DFW that has statistically ranked as the fastest growing community in Texas. Is it Texas or the nation? I think it's Texas.
For what? The fastest growing?
Yeah.
In the nation.
What? All right, so it's a big deal.
The nation's growth rate averages 0.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Celina's 26.6.
Yeah, average.
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been some years that were huge. And there's still lots of new construction starts happening.
Now, the numbers are a little skewed because they're smaller. So once you begin to grow smaller numbers, it does exponentially look huge.
That is precisely
But it is
correct.
growing.
Yeah, it's growing like crazy. And that's exactly right. When, usually these lists of like fastest growing have qualifiers like of cities with more than 50,000 people and things like that. But statistically speaking, it doesn't really matter on the rankings. Celina is growing like crazy. It's super, super attractive. As Frisco has expanded and Prosper has expanded, Celina has become more and more of an interesting option. Same thing with, Sherman and cities like that are creating more of a regional attraction to be in a smaller town like Celina. You're not stuck out there in this one spot. You're able to reach all these communities as they all grow, and Celina has been statistically a massive beneficiary.
Well, and once you start thinking and looking at it as like all of these places are just an extension of the main, quote, main city that we live in, right? So this article says, like, Austin, Dallas, Houston used to be the ones that were growing massively.
Right.
But now you've got places like Celina, New Braunfels, Katy.
Yep.
Guess what? On the outskirts of all of those
Right.
types of cities. So
Yeah.
it has to grow that way because there's no more land to build on.
That was going to be my sort of summary statement here is, look, Celina's great. We love it. We sell homes out there and people love living there. The reality is this. The expansion, there are many, many, many cities like this that are on lists like this in the DFW Metroplex because it's a highly desirable place to live. Corporations are still moving jobs here. People still want to be here. People are escaping less desirable places, and people are running to a family-friendly, a business-friendly, a socially-friendly, an arts-friendly, a sports-friendly community with healthcare and professional sports and the ability to live in a quiet community or an urban walkable community. We've got it all, which is really one of the distinguishing factors of the DFW community. So anyway, Celina is kind of an example community. It's ranking on many, many, many lists right now. For years and years and years, we would see Rockwall on almost every list, Plano on every list. And to Ian's point, as those communities mature, they're not necessarily on the rapid growth list, but they're almost always on these lists of highly desirable places to live. So many DFW communities continue to rank as wonderful places to live. And we'll keep educating you about them, helping you buy, sell, and invest in real estate there. If that's something you're thinking about doing, give us a call, 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008 or online at toddtremonteteam.com. If you haven't shopped your insurance lately, I want you to call our friend DP Lambert. You can email him first at dp.lambert@goosehead.com. dp.lambert@goosehead.com. He helped another one of my family members in the last couple of weeks save several $100s over renewing with their previous provider. I always tell people, look, yes, he's a broker. Yes, he can shop your insurance to 20, 30 different providers. The best thing about DP is he will do that for you every year, and he will be your real estate pro for the next 30, 40 years. And you don't have to have the same carrier every year. He can shop you. But the best thing is that he will communicate. He will respond. He will answer your questions. You don't have to become an insurance expert every year when it's time to renew. He will do that for you. You can trust him. He's responsive. He'll educate you and help you understand that you have the right coverage at the right price. dp.lambert@goosehead.com.
I don't know if you are aware of this, Todd or Connie, but it is hot outside.
That is correct, sir. Family spent a couple of weeks in the mountains and came back to not the mountains. You get off the airplane and you are quickly reminded, yep, still Texas. Now, I love Texas. I'm generally always 5 degrees hotter than everybody else. So when it gets hot here, I go into this season of just being disgruntled a bit. There are fun benefits to the summer, but it is in fact hot.
Thankfully, it's not as hot as I've known it in Texas, at least not right now.
Yet. Yeah.
And so that's at least a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about some of the differences, especially in the summer, about living in a home on some land versus living in a home in a more traditional neighborhood.
Yep.
Like, what are some of the things that kind of allow us to, I don't know, keep cool?
No, I'm glad you asked the question because I just cut my last thought short, and that's where I wanted to go is, I'm always hot anyway. If I'm in a room with a group of people, I'm always like the hot one. Like someone's mentions, should we turn the air down? Yes. So when it's like legit 90 plus outside and we start getting into triple digits, I'm looking for shade.
Live in my house, 64, nice and breezy.
How do you afford that?
Amen, brother.
I got good walls, good insulation. It's lovely.
So to answer this question, if you've got the bigger lot, the bigger yard, the acreage, you have more room to have dedicated space, right? So you have room to say, we need a shaded area over here, let's just say on the west side, depending on how your house is oriented, so that we can enjoy the outside more. Now, I've lived in, typical lot sizes before, and you can still make this work in a typical lot size. The difference is when you have the home on land or the acreage, you don't have to have as much multi-purpose space. So follow me, Courtney. Typical neighborhood backyard, great. Use the heck out of it. We've made and are making videos to give you more and more ideas to get outside and use that space. But if you have more space, instead of it being sort of the patio, the deck, the backyard art place, the fire pit place, the cooking place, the eating place, the playing place, you can have those places dedicated. And because of that, you can have the area that is made for shade so that you're 10 degrees cooler and feel the breeze a little better during the summer months. And you also have the area that during the cooler months is out in the sun when you want the warmth and you want the light and those things, instead of having to sort of compromise or choose one but not the other. I know many, many people who love their backyards in the fall and just don't even touch it if they don't have a pool in the summer or in the dead of winter, right? But if you are lucky enough, or if you're planning, and we want to help you with this, we specialize in two main things: DFW's most desirable neighborhoods and homes with big backyards, homes on land, homes on acreage. And if you've got the acreage, the land, the big backyard, you can deliberately, whether it's planting trees for shade or putting up a pergola, extending a patio cover, you can have those dedicated areas for shade. You can have a misting system back there in a certain area. Obviously, you could put in a pool, whether permanent or temporary, above ground or in ground, whatever the case may be. But you can have those dedicated spaces. So I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I love our big backyard this time of year. And even though I'm generally hot as heck, we have committed to having significant covered patio space and are increasing our shaded space. We do have the pergola area. We put the play set with the kids' swings and things like that in an area that's shaded early. We just noticed that we tend to do that stuff earlier. And then the one mistake I have made is trying to get the grill in the perfect area for shade when I'm cooking. Problem is I use the grill all kinds of times. But the point is, when you have the space, you can have these dedicated areas to enjoy your backyard year round. Shaded areas, cooler areas, places to set up fans and misting systems and pools and things like that. And then also enjoy that space when it's colder, where you have the fire pit, or you don't want shade. You want to be in the sun. You might not want the windbreak in the summer. You want to hang out in a space that has the breeze and wind. And in the winter, you might want a wind block. And so you can have multiple spaces when you have more space. Fairly logical, but not always something that people are thinking through as they shop for a home or develop their homes and yards. Thoughts?
No, I think that's good. I was just thinking about just this, having more of a vision for your yard and just these living spaces. It just creates a totally different headspace and flow. I'm like, it's almost like it's like a home space outside. Like, well, it's like you've set up these rooms.
Well, that's what you and I keep trying to do on our YouTube channel with videos on, like, hey, use your backyard. Is you bought it. You bought your house and the yard, front yard and backyard. Maybe it's a side yard. I don't know where you live. But the fact is, I want you to appreciate and enjoy all of it. Even if I'm not going to sell you one or help you sell yours, I do still want you to enjoy your home. I want your home to lead to an incredible, life of security and family and marriage and parenting and wealth building and social life, or whatever your dynamic is. I want your physical home to enrich that, make it easier, smoother, better, more enjoyable, safer, all those things. And the yard is a big part of that lots of people neglect all the time, if not for huge chunks of the year, full seasons or whatever. There are people whose backyard is if it rains, you can't use it. It's just mud. Yeah. Okay, well, let's figure that out. On page 28 of the Summer Fun Guide, I have to admit it's the least attractive image in the whole Summer Fun Guide, but it's a great spread walking you through how I think about setting up yards. Now, this is designed for big backyards, but it can apply to a small or typical backyard. But it's a system of zones and what you do in each zone and how to think through creating your dream oasis Shangri-La of a backyard. So check it out on page 28, or if you go to our YouTube channel, there's a free download on lots of our videos about how to dream up and create or purchase a backyard that meets all those goals.
I like it. It's a good vision cast.
I love big backyards, but if you don't, I still want you to use whatever you've got. Yeah. If you're in a 0 lot line shared space courtyard deal, great.
How are you using
To your point, Courtney, you've got the inside part of the home and the outside part of the home. The house is the house, the condo is the condo, townhome's the townhome, but the home extends to where in my mind, you're cultivating the kids and the marriage and the safety and security and rest and recreation and education, all those things. When I think of home, that's what I think of. And I honestly would not still be in real estate if it was just bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, sheetrock.
Totally. You need to expand your view of like the way that you see the space and how you live in it.
Well, I love real estate because of all those things and how they impact who we're becoming, what we achieve, the impact we have, the legacy we leave, and all those things. If you want a home that does those things, we have got to talk. Give us a call, 214-310-0008. Not at all a typical real estate agent, but a brokerage and a team full of people that are full-time, fully committed, and believe in this idea that home is where life happens, where education and relationship and safety and security and rest and recreation and food and nourishment and all of these incredible things all really launch and are nurtured and sustained in the home. We want that to be great. Yes, we want the structure to be wonderful. We also want you to take advantage of and enjoy the yard and then all the other aspects, and we can help you do that. Give us a call, 214-310-0008, or text 214-310-0008 for the Todd Tremonti Home Selling Team. If you forget all of that or any of our pros and experts that we talk to here, you can always go to
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
That's ToddTremontiTeam.com. If somehow you goof the spelling, just Google us, Todd Tremonti. You'll find lots of resources. Call, text, email, fill out any form, send us a note, stop by the office. We would be honored to add value in your life, whether you're buying, selling, investing, or simply wanting to enjoy your home. That's ToddTremontiTeam.com, or call or text 214-310-0008. That's 214-310-0008.